Let's go to the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, who's, boy, oh boy, I don't envy your job. Good to see you, General. I appreciate your time today. I wanted to get your response to that audio soundbite that we just played you from Jen Psaki, because she's trying to, have it both ways. They're not really working as a partner with the Republic of Texas to help enforce border security. And at the same time, she's saying, well, we're doing everything. Title 42, we're doing everything we're supposed to do. Doesn't sound like it. Your response?
I know they're not doing everything. If you look at the Remain in Mexico program, they're supposed to be enforcing that. We went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Yeah. We were successful. And I think last month and the month before, they only did about 200 or 300 Remain in Mexico out of 170,000 or 180,000
people. They only did 200 to 300.
That was the number that I saw. So they're not only they're ignoring federal law, they're ignoring court orders, and they're just operating sort of on their own, however they want to. So she did not answer that honestly.
No, not at all. Yeah, apparently they enrolled fewer than 300 migrants, illegal entrants in the Remain in Mexico. And you took this to court twice and were victorious twice on this. So why is the administration not following what the courts decided?
That's a really good question. And we have a constitutional form of government where they're supposed to respond. There's a balance, obviously, between the judiciary, the executive, and the Congress. And I guess they view themselves as the only branch of government, because that's what they're doing. They're ignoring federal legislation from Congress. They're ignoring a court order. My guess is we're going to be back in court challenging them on not following the court order now.
And if you were, how does this, because I just remember under Obama, Biden, when there were border states that were trying to enforce border security, the DOJ would come after them. There was always a lawsuit, whether it was Arizona and Jan Brewer. We saw this time and time again. Would that happen if Texas decided to say, you know what, you're not going to help, we're going to send it, but we're going to handle this. We're going to send people back ourselves. Yeah. You'd probably be fighting them in court on that issue?
Already am. You actually nailed it. We already are. The governor he's arresting people that were being transported through the state that weren't with law enforcement. And we were sued immediately. We have a stay right now, and we cannot stop these people right now because of a court order. So yeah, this is already happening.
It's crazy. This is all crazy to me. We're talking to Texas's Attorney General Ken Paxton. The other thing that really struck me about this report, and this isn't the first time that I've seen this come up in Bill Malugin's reporting, is that these are all fairly young men. There are no families, as he said in this last report. We played a little bit of that soundbite as well after the Psaki soundbite. No families, no women. They're all pretty young men. That's odd to me. I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It's odd to me too. I don't have an explanation other than to say I think their goal is to get as many people here as fast as they can. It doesn't matter what their background. It doesn't matter if they have a terrorist background. It doesn't seem like they even check for that. They've got people coming across with COVID in large numbers. They've got people coming across that are dealing drugs. There's no limit on what kinds of people they're going to let in this country. Everybody can come in.
Yeah, to me, it's unbelievable. I wanted to get your also response to this New York Times piece that ran the other day, because there's been a lot of questions about the National Guard that was deployed to the border. There's been a lot of discussion of difficulties, because I understand I understand the position in which folks are in, because you're trying to secure the border while you have a federal government that is doing everything possible to prevent you from actually enforcing border security. The headline that the New York Times has, and I don't instantly trust the New York Times, which is why I'm asking about it. They have this one pull quote. Boy, they really beat this pull quote to death. We're basically mall cops. Texas Guard members on border mission. They said that the deployment of thousands of National Guard members to the Texas-Mexico border, soldiers complain of difficulties and what they say is a seemingly rudderless mission. They talk about the vaccination battle, etc. I wanted to get your take on this, because like I said, I don't necessarily trust the New York Times, but what are they able to do at the border? Like, what can the Guard do and what can't they do?
So it's immensely frustrating for, I think, anybody on the border, whether it's the federal agent, Border Patrol, or Customs and Immigration. They're told by the Biden administration not to send people back, but just to process them, which takes them out of stopping, the cartels from running drugs and other crime through our country. And then, of course, the National Guard and the State Guard and the state police are really there to aid the Border Patrol. But, again, they're not even enforcing the laws we have, and we're not in a position where if they turn themselves into Border Patrol, they can't do anything. Now, if they go on private property, we're arresting them for trespass, and they're going through our process. But if you want to avoid that, you just go to Border Patrol, turn yourself in, and you're in the country and you get transported.
Yeah. Is there anything more aggressive that could be done in Texas? I mean, that really pushes the envelope of, tempting another suit from angry Merrick Garland, who's still disgruntled that he didn't get on the Supreme Court. I'm just wondering, what's the limit of aggressiveness that Texas can go to in upholding border security? Have we done everything?
Yeah, I think we have. I mean, I think the governor, he could actually call the National Guard to start doing that, but the president could just immediately order them not to. So the governor's hands he's in a very tough situation, I think, because the federal government is not enforcing their own laws. And then supposedly under this, Supreme Court decision that was made during the Obama administration called U.S. v. Arizona, when Arizona tried to enforce their own laws because the federal government was abdicating their responsibilities, they were told that they couldn't do it. So we're actually looking for another case like that that we can take that up, because it cannot be right that we have to sit here and watch drug trafficking and human trafficking and COVID spread and people dying. I mean, it doesn't make sense that we have to sit and watch this and we can't do anything about it because the federal government won't.
Right. We're talking with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. I know that there was discussions about coronavirus outbreaks, and for all the talk about masking and testing and everything else, it's crazy that the policy of the federal government is just to allow everybody to come in. It's honor system. Are you tested? Oh, sure. Yeah. And then they're dispersed throughout the rest of the country. But meanwhile, our own Guard members, and I was looking at some of the numbers with this. They said, I think there was 8,000 state Guard members are unvaccinated and risk being permanently discharged if they don't get the jab in short order. What's the rule on that? And if they want to maybe they have naturally acquired immunity like I do. Where's the state on that?
So the governor told the state Guard and the National Guard that they would not be forced to get it. We're defending that right now. So we're in a lawsuit with the federal government over that exact issue, because we don't think, literally it makes no sense. You've got people crossing the border that are not vaccinated, and we don't even test them, and yet you're going to fire people that are trying to do their best to protect the border,
right?
Who are not vaccinated, who have made a personal health decision. As you know, that's just wrong.
Yeah, especially because it's all it's all predicated upon the idea that it prevents transmission, which even Rochelle Walensky said, CDC director, says that it doesn't. How many suits is the state involved in with the federal government right now? Because you mentioned this is another suit. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you have on your plate? How many lawsuits are you juggling right now?
It's incredible. In 1 year, we have accumulated 26 lawsuits against the Biden administration. 19 of those we've sued them, 7 they've sued us.
26.
Yes.
Wow. So maybe that's why they're too busy to actually pay attention to what's happening in Ukraine or anything else, because they're involved in 26 different lawsuits with Texas. We're talking to the Attorney General, Ken Paxton, who handles all of this. Because this isn't just a Texas issue either. Because I was looking at some of the places, looking at my notes here, some of the places where people have been sent are Georgia, Florida. Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, no one's being sent to New York or Rhode Island or Connecticut. Nobody's going up there. There's no buses or planes that are taking people who've come in illegally through the border up in that area. That's a little, do you know why that would be?
Well, look, first of all, this is a national story, because I've got 12 Republican AGs meeting me on the border tomorrow because they care about this issue. But I really do think they're targeting Republican states for 2 reasons. One is they want to get as many of these illegals in these states and hope that they can get them to vote by giving them amnesty. Or the other thing I think they're doing is they're trying to harm Republican states by spreading COVID, by costing us both economically and socially, imposing costs on states like Texas and Florida who have been successful. And this brings states like that into more trouble and makes it look like we've got more problems.
Yeah, it does. And I know we've talked about that before, because especially this was before everyone now started to get rid of all these European countries started getting rid of their vaccine passports and masking. And now, of course, we have the OSHA defeat with Biden's role. We're talking to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. All right. So you're with a number of Republican AGs at the border tomorrow. Is this going to be a first-time visit for some?
Yeah, I think most of them have never been, and that's part of the reason I organized it. I wanted other states to be able to see, because think a lot of times they get involved in these other lawsuits with us, the vaccine lawsuits, but they're not as involved in the immigration one. And I want them to see what's going on, because a lot of these people are ending up in their states.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, I thought, the left cared about the spread of the deadliest virus in the world. That's another thing. One last quick question for you, talking with Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General. I know that you're meeting a lot of mothers coming up here. It's today. For a gathering of moms for addressing the State of the Union. Tell me a little bit about this meeting that you're having.
Yeah, so I met some of these people in Florida, and my theory is, hey, if all the moms of America get involved in defending our country, we're gonna win. So I love this.
We'll pull this car over. That's what we'll do. We will pull this car over.
That's exactly right. So Angela and I are both going out to meet with them and encourage them, and they're going to encourage us. But look, if they're successful in getting moms involved, we're going to win this fight for sure.
Oh, there you go. Looks like a lot of parents are involved because of all of the CRT stuff that's been happening. We're out of time at this point. We're never short of anything to discuss, though. Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you, sir, for your time today. I hope the visit with those other AGs goes well at the border. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.